We need somebody to help him. Somebody pass out right here. Somebody pass out right here. No, don't touch him, don't touch him. Everybody just back up. Security, somebody help jump in real quick. Keep going. Just somebody jump in. Come on. Security, get it down. Let's get it down. Let's get it down.
The Astroworld disaster might technically be over, but be clear. The legal ramifications that are going to come from this festival are literally just getting started. So now it's time for everybody to sit back and say, I didn't do it, he did it. Because liability will be as prevalent an issue in these cases coming up as we've ever seen. So Travis Scott's Houston, Texas festival that left now 9 people dead, thousands of fans in attendance horrified, and millions of people around the world questioning how did this happen is now about to become a game of whose fault it is. So far, Travis Scott and his team, though, they are off to what I would believe to be a very bad start. All right, it is being reported by TMZ following the Astroworld concert Friday night that after the show, Travis Scott actually, you're listening to me correctly, ladies and gentlemen, went to Dave & Buster's for a party that Drake was hosting. Sources connected to TMZ tell that the rapper was never told at the festival people in the crowd had died and that hundreds more were injured. Travis didn't know the severity of the situation when he arrived at the party. As far as timing, this remains consistent with the fact that no one, including the police, had publicly confirmed the gravity of the events that had taken place. So they're saying apparently after Travis Scott found out what happened while he was at Dave & Buster's, how bad his show was, and that people had passed away and many people were hurt, they're saying Travis did leave Dave & Buster's immediately, right? Just to be clear. Now, apparently Drake didn't have a clue what was going on as well. Obviously, he wouldn't have thrown a party at Dave & Buster's if he didn't, but it just looks bad optically, right? You throw a party at Dave & Buster's while people are literally fighting for their life. Speaking of the person who threw the after party, Drake, he delivered his first message on social media earlier in the week. Remember, Drake was on stage with Travis around 9:30, which is around the reported time when things really went left, with fans stampeding towards the stage to see 2 of the biggest artists in the world. Drake said, "My heart is broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives and for anyone who is suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them and will be of service in any way I can. May God be with you all." So Travis Scott, Drake, and Live Nation, which was concert promoters, they have already been named in different lawsuits regarding this Astroworld disaster. I'm hearing as many as 45 different lawsuits are in the works already revolving around Astroworld related incidents, death, injuries, trauma. It's about to get ugly, and somebody's gonna have to pay for all this stuff. Now, Travis, to be fair to him, has already pledged to pay for the funeral costs for at the time he said, for the 8 fans who had passed away, but now we know there's 9 people who passed away, and provide mental health services to anyone who may have been affected. Obviously, people seeing dead bodies. That's traumatizing if you've ever seen it. But will that be close to enough financially to get through this? This is a legal business nightmare. Travis has gotten in trouble in the past for encouraging people to rush the stage. That's kind of part of his brand. In 2015, he pled guilty to charges of reckless conduct stemming from an incident at Lollapalooza. In 2017, he pled guilty to disorderly conduct after law enforcement said he incited a riot at a show in Arkansas. So here's the thing. The Houston PD's chief of police, Troy Fenner, believes that Travis Scott and his team were ultimately responsible for pulling the plug. He said that at a press conference earlier in the week. Is it on the venue where the concert took place? So the concert was at Energy Park. The venue that hosted this has an insurance policy that's around $26 million. That probably will be nowhere near the amount of money that the injured and families of the dead will be seeking. So just to break this down, Energy Park's insurance policy gives them about $1 million in primary coverage with about $25 million umbrella of relief. Obviously, with 9 people dead and more than 300 injured, damages could go up to hundreds of millions of dollars when it's all said and done. This thing's gonna go on for years. If the policy doesn't cover the judgments, then Energy will be responsible for anything over that limit. Is it on the promoter? Live Nation, they don't deserve an out for this as well. We've seen them stand next to Travis Scott and other performers who have been promoting Rage at Festival for years. And they obviously probably have financially benefited the most. Will Live Nation be on the build to have to pay for a lot of the damages around this event? I did some research, and it turns out that an ironclad liability waiver in Texas would almost certainly provide coverage for basic negligence, right? So here's the thing. The online waiver that you have to sign when you go to a Travis Scott Astroworld festival that's provided by Live Nation, and the contract reads, you voluntarily assume all risk and dangers incidental to the event for which the ticket is issued. Whether occurring before, during, or after the event, you waive any claims for personal injury or death against us. I don't think that's going to work this time, but they do have that in their waiver. So we asked the question to the people. If you're on YouTube, in the comment section, Facebook, share it out and let me know your thoughts. Who do you believe at the end of the day will pay the ultimate cost? Meaning, who's going to front the most money? Who's going to have to pay up the most after all the dust settles with this Travis Scott Astroworld disaster? Will it be Travis Scott? It was his show. It's his brand. His name is attached to it. At the end of the day, will it be Live Nation? They're the promoters behind it. They put this thing together. Will it be Energy Park in Houston? Will it be the Houston Police? There might be some culpability there. Let me know what you believe will be the outcome. Prayers to all families that have been affected by this devastating event. My heart is with you guys. That is awful. People are getting ready to bury their loved ones, and all they knew that their loved ones were going to a concert last week. That is awful.